By the time I realized I was sleeping next to a serpent, it was too late. The man I married, the one who stood in the pulpit preaching salvation, was a fraud. And I, his loyal, devoted wife, had been nothing more than a prop in his grand deception. I woke up to the feeling of something watching me. The room was dark, except for the faint glow of the streetlights filtering through the curtains. At first, I thought it was just a dream, until I realized I couldn't move. A heavy presence pressed against my chest. Then, I saw him. Pastor Emmanuel, my husband, was sitting on the edge of the bed, his back facing me. His shoulders twitched, and his head was slightly tilted, listening. But to what? I swallowed hard. Emmanuel. My voice came out hoarse, but he didn't answer. I tried to sit up, but my body felt pinned. My heart pounded in my ears. Then, suddenly, he laughed. A low, rumbling sound that didn't belong to him. My blood turned to ice. What was going on? I couldn't see his face, but in the dim light, I saw his hands. They were clenched into fists. But his fingers, they were too long and sharp. As if his skin couldn't contain what was inside him anymore. Then, slowly, he turned. And in the darkness, I saw his eyes. They weren't human, they weren't my husband's. It was something else. I tried to scream, but my throat locked. My body refused to move. Then, just as suddenly as it happened, his face softened. The inhuman glow in his eyes disappeared. His hands, normal again. He smiled at me, as if nothing had happened. "My love," he whispered. "You should go back to sleep." And then, in the faintest, gentlest voice, he added, "I wouldn't want you to see too much." My eyes grew open. Who is Pastor Emmanuel? The next morning, Emmanuel acted normal. He kissed me, prayed with me, he even led a powerful Sunday service. But I couldn't stop shaking. Was it a nightmare? Sleep paralysis? Something else? After the service, Sister Miriam, a longtime church member, pulled me aside. Her grip was ice cold. "My daughter," she whispered, eyes darting around. "Have you noticed anything strange about your husband?" The question struck me like a slap. I forced a smile. "Why do you ask?" She hesitated, then exhaled. "Because last night, I saw him." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "I saw him praying in the sanctuary after midnight." She swallowed hard. He wasn't alone. My breath caught. Who was with him? She held my gaze. He was. She was saying, her voice shaky. Suddenly, the door swung open and Emmanuel stood beside us. His smile was warm, his voice gentle. "What are my beautiful ladies talking about?" Miriam immediately dropped my hands. She took a step back. And for the first time, I saw it. The way she trembled in his presence, she knew something about him, but what could it be? That night, Emmanuel left for a prayer retreat. He told me not to call. I need full concentration with the Lord. But the moment he left, I felt a pull. A force telling me to search. In his study, I found it, a black leather briefcase. I hesitated before opening it, my heart pounding. Inside, I found money. Too much money. Beneath the stacks, there also were envelopes. Each one had a name written on it. I opened one, a single note was inside. "The sacrifice has been made. Payment received." My hands trembled as I grabbed another, then I opened more notes. And there were more payments. I flipped through them faster, my breath coming in sharp gasps. Then, I saw one that had my name in it. My fingers refused to move, but I had to know what was inside. I tore it open. Inside was a note, short, written in precise, careful handwriting. "She will know soon. Be ready." I dropped it, stumbling backward. My chest tightened. Then, the front door creaked open. I spun around. Emmanuel wasn't supposed to be home, but I felt him. I felt something in the house. Watching me. That night, I barely slept. The moment the sun rose, I rushed to Sister Miriam's house. I placed the envelope in her trembling hands. She read it, her face growing pale. "My child," she whispered. "We must leave." "We?" I frowned. "Where?" But before she could answer, we heard a knock on the door. A slow knock, the knock came 3 times. Miriam's eyes widened. She grabbed my hand, whispering, "Don't say a word." We waited, the silence stretched between us. Then, slowly the door swung open on its own. Cold air rushed into the house. And standing in the doorway was Pastor Emmanuel, a dangerous smile playing on his lips. "Why didn't you answer the door, my love?" he asked, and I couldn't breathe. How had he known I was here? How had he gotten inside? He took me home. I wasn't sure he had anything I told Sister Miriam. After that day, I wasn't allowed to leave the house. Emmanuel was always watching me. His smiles never faded, his voice never rose. But I felt it was like a tension in the air, like a string about to snap. One night, I tried to pray alone in our bedroom. The moment I said a Jesus, the lights flickered. The walls shook. And from the corner of the room, Emmanuel, silent, still, watching me. Then, in a voice not his own, "You shouldn't do that," he said, and my blood went cold. "Do what?" I whispered. He smiled. "Say his name in this house." At that moment, I knew I had to leave. But I couldn't do it alone. I called Miriam, told her everything. She whispered a single instruction: "Come to the church now." I grabbed my Bible and ran. But when I arrived, the sanctuary was empty. No congregation. No Miriam. Only Emmanuel. He was waiting for me. "You're too late," he said softly. Then he stepped aside. And behind him was Miriam, lying on the altar, her throat slit, her blood soaking into the holy cloth. I don't remember screaming, I don't remember running. I only remember Emmanuel's voice echoing behind me. "You were never supposed to know." I hid in a motel. I didn't sleep for days. Then, one morning, I saw the news. Renowned pastor arrested for murder. I dropped the phone. The article confirmed what I already knew. Emmanuel was not his real name. He had changed identities, married into churches, built his empire on deception and blood. I had been married to something not human. And now, even in a prison cell, he smiled in the mugshot. Like he knew something I didn't, and that thing would come for me tomorrow. It's been 2 years. I try to move on, but some nights, I wake up gasping, feeling eyes on me, hearing whispers in my room. And sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I see him, standing behind me and smiling. His voice, soft. "You were never supposed to survive." I shook the thought off my head. He had been arrested, so I'm free.